at once, so this is pretty helpful. I feel like I'm already in the flow of being able to record and stuff like that, so it's pretty helpful. And our portfolio is honestly on fire, especially with the stock wise of everything. Like, look at that, jeez. Yeah, so like Florida Light and Power is honestly on fire. I'm tempted on trimming it, but at the same time, I feel like it'd be a decent opportunity to trim it, because Florida Light and Power is honestly, I feel like they're a bit overvalued. Like, people are just flocking towards this thing. Let's just see the info. It's a buy, so people aren't really thinking of it as a sell at the moment. But the industry, like, this is utilities. You got the FLA. It's a bit overvalued. Like, it's got 300. But, like, yeah, so I think this one will be a bit more undervalued. But they don't really pay a dividend at the moment, which kind of sucks. But, like, they have a much more market share and stuff, and they're actually much more cheaper. This one's pretty good too, but they have a high price to net worth. So theoretically, I'm just going to hold it and just reinvest the dividends back into specifically just stuff. Yeah. I don't know whether I ought to go stock heavy or not, because we're doing really well for a portfolio. Like, my stock portfolio, could do a trim. Florida Financial Shares Fund wouldn't be a bad opportunity to get into a little bit more of that. Going kind of stock heavy though, I feel like. I mean, especially if the rates decide to increase. But I'm unsure if they're going to increase or not. It says they're tightening, but kind of shows the opposite. Sometimes they do that. I hate that. So yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a confusing scenario that we're in this game when it comes to everything. So yeah, we're just going to hold my chart. I boomed a ton. I feel like the economy is probably doing really well. Not really. I think we may have outperformed. Yeah. I feel like we could probably do a small stake in like a biotech company, but we don't have like enough to do that. We could probably do a minimum of 500 per transaction, but that'll just make things not super duper well. And there goes most of my profit for Florida Lights. Big mistake. I could have trimmed. Honestly, I think utilities are a nice industry, so I'm going to hold on to it. We have a lot of utility companies. We have like 2. Almost 3. Like, I'm thinking about buying Ed, but they don't really pay a dividend. Yeah, I should have trimmed my good old buddy Ed reports dividend. We don't even own Ed. There's no sense. And we lost Florida Eds. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I definitely knew they were a bit overvalued. But they increased their dividend. That's good news. 22 cents a share dividend. Not bad. That's Ed. Why am I still on Ed? Yeah, I feel like they're actually losing. Yeah, they had bad. Well, that's their first quarter, so they're actually gonna probably beat the last year's profit. Geez, PE is very good. I'm actually gonna. It was a bit overvalued when I first checked it out last episode, I believe, and so now it looks like it's looking a lot better. And the prime rate is high, so I'm gonna start eating up some bonds. We up like 10k worth, I believe, because I feel like the prime rate might go up a little bit more. What's the price? It's 1,000 per each, so I'm gonna buy about 10. Could have bought 11, but whatever. 10 ain't bad. So now we're gonna be making $600 off interest. Our income's all over the place. That's just because I'm trying to go for like a high growth strategy. Hopefully they increase the prime rate. Because I'm going low on bonds right now, which kind of sucks, but whatever. And we're back to our start. Wow, I could have been way ahead if I sold Florida. Sometimes in the market you say, hey, this stock is very, very nice. This stock is a bit overvalued. I'm going to trim it. And then you kind of say, nah, I'm going to buy. You're kind of stuck in this whole buy and hold debacle where you say, I'm going to buy and hold this stock. And then honestly, you never trim it. And then something bad happens and then they fall in price a ton. And then you kind of got lost aversion where you're kind of stuck where you're holding the bag onto a stock that you feel like it was a bit overvalued, and now it's extremely undervalued right now, so you feel like it's like shit, you're in a bit of trouble. Like honestly, I did that in real life with IAG. The stock I bought like $50, 40 cents a share, went up to like 75 bucks, and I was like, it's a bit overvalued at 75 bucks. I don't think it's worth that much. And then this whole Corona thing went on, and I basically was in trouble. Not what they expected, sadly, but yeah. So in real life, I kind of was going to sell IAG at like 75 bucks a share, but I never did, and I know it's a bit overvalued, but I said I'm buying and holding the stock. I believe in the prospects long term of the company, but yeah, that's the problem. You kind of get stuck in like where like you hold on to stocks either too long or too little, and so it's kind of hard. I'm probably going to try doing in real life is I'm probably just going to try, like just try to do my own thing where it's just I have my own brokerage and I just buy and sell them when say I feel like they are a bit overvalued. But I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what to do. I'm not really much of a financial advisor when it comes to this stuff. I'm trying to become one, so yeah. A lot of ranting going on these past 2 episodes. I apologize, by the way. But yeah, this game is mostly waiting. It's literally just patience. That's why I'm kind of playing on a fast speed at the moment. Like I should be playing on a slower speed. That way I can comprehend what really is going on. Because 75 is pretty good. 50 I think is too slow. So 75 ain't bad. You can still keep up with your research. I should have loaded up more in bonds. I'll actually ditch out my bonds right now. Because I kind of regret not buying more. But that's again what you can't do whenever you invest and stuff. Is if you kind of beat yourself up over not buying this, or you sold this stock too early. That's one of the first lessons I learned when I invested. I bought some Air Canada at $23.15, and then I sold them most of my stake at $26 just because I wasn't comfortable with holding it. I went to 29, went to 40 something, and then now it's back up to like 18 or something. So honestly, they're all over the place, and you can't really beat yourself up when it comes to investing and saying it's basically he said, she said kind of thing going on in your mind where it's like, yeah, I could have sold here. That's one of the worst things you can do to your brain is just think I should have bought more of that because it could have gone the opposite. And again, I feel like we're in the scenario where we can trim Florida Light Power. I don't know, I might not. It's good to trim it and then probably buy a little bit more if it does drop. But yeah, like whenever it comes to my investment strategy, my specific, not financial advice, but I typically is if there's a better investment opportunity somewhere else, I would do that. So let's go find our investment opportunity. AA, that's a pretty good one. Doesn't pay a dividend, sadly. But yeah, so like if there's a better opportunity somewhere else, then you go ahead and do that. And you ditch out of FLA, for example. This one's a pretty good investment opportunity still. Because it has AA. It's actually better than what I bought it at. But like if you see the research report, it's a buy. But like the ratios kind of tell you, hey, it's a bit overvalued. 28 times the earnings. 11% ROE is pretty good. I prefer 20, but 11 is better than less than that. Debt to equity. That's very, very low. Sorry about that. I thought it said 0.80. I'm like, that's a bit of a scariness. But yeah. Sometimes it helps to trim off your stocks, especially if you made a profit. Sometimes it doesn't. Because there's this thing called Dividend Growth investing, and I believe in that. So where you buy a stock and then their dividend grows over the long period and over the long term. Like, for example, I think Fortis, a company that I own, they've increased their dividend for like 50 consecutive years or something crazy like that. It's just their dividend. They're basically dividend payers in their long term. And so basically you want to be able to buy those and then just... And they grow their dividend above inflation most of the time, so you actually do really well with that. FOA increases dividend, reports quarterly earnings. A big increase. So like they're beating their quarterly estimates. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, but honestly it's worth sometimes just buying and holding and never ever selling the stock. That's some philosophies that people live by, is that they buy a stock and they never ever sell it. And that's where some cases there's something called a 10 bagger, where basically Peter Lynch coined it really well. And it's in One Up Wall Street, the book, where basically a stock can go up 10,000 times and then they can get acquired by a big company, and then basically you think they can go up 20 times. But yeah, but like basically 10,000 times your stock, that's crazy. Like I cannot imagine making 10,000 times your investment. By 10,000 times I mean like 10,000%. Or it's basically 10 times your investment. You put $100 in, you basically get 100,000, I believe. So it's kind of crazy. There are some 10 baggers out there. I believe Google's one, Amazon's one. Like if you look at way back in 1997, for example, I could probably just pick it up real quick. You hear in typical finance that, hey, I bought this one penny stock and it went up like this much, and then my internet's been slow. Apologize for that. But yeah, if you look way back right here in Amazon 1997, and then it's way more than a 10 bagger. This is like a 100 bagger. Chances of that happening are really low. But yeah, that's about going to conduct it for today's episode. And I thank you guys for watching my content and everything. And I hope everything is going okay. I'm going to start bringing up more finance topics to talk about and stuff. I feel like that'll be pretty important when it comes to everything. But yeah, I hope you guys take it easy and have a nice one.